Most students fear GED geometry. But here's the good news. You only need 12 shapes to master it. Every geometry question you'll see comes back to these same shapes, again and again. In this series, I'll show you how to tackle them, with examples, traps, and tricks. Stick around, because in just a few minutes, you'll see why geometry is actually the most predictable part of the GED math test. On the GED, about 20 to 25% of all math questions are geometry. That means out of 46 total questions, around 10 to 12 are geometry related. And if you can nail those, you've already locked down almost a quarter of the exam. The exam isn't testing if you're an architect. It's testing if you can apply basic formulas, logic, and reasoning to real-world shapes. Rooms, containers, playgrounds, even pizzas. Let's talk about the most common types of geometry questions. First, the test loves to check area and perimeter of basic shapes. You'll see rectangles, triangles, circles, and sometimes a figure made of two shapes stuck together. Example: a garden is 12 meters long and 8 meters wide. What's its area? Easy multiplication. Next, volume and surface area. These questions often describe 3D objects: cubes, rectangular prisms, cylinders, and sometimes spheres. Example: a cylinder has radius 4 centimeters and height 10 centimeters. Find its volume. That's a volume problem. You'll also get questions about composite figures, when two or more shapes are combined. Example: a rectangle with a semicircle on top. Break it down. Find the rectangle's area, then add half the circle's area. Fourth, Pythagorean theorem and right triangles. This comes up often. Anytime you see words like ladder, ramp, or diagonal, think of the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Example: a ladder leans against a wall, 6 feet away at the bottom and 8 feet high at the top. How long is the ladder? That's the hypotenuse. Fifth, word problems that hide geometry inside. The test loves to disguise simple geometry in real-life stories. Example: Maria wants to put a fence around her yard. The yard is rectangular, 20 by 15. How many feet of fencing does she need? That's perimeter. Add up all 4 sides. So why do we say just 12 shapes? Because the GED repeats the same ones. Flat, 2D. Rectangle, square, triangle, parallelogram, trapezoid, circle. Special circle parts, semicircle, circle sector. Solids, 3D. Cube, rectangular prism, cylinder, sphere, cone. That's it. No hexagons, no dodecahedrons. If you know these 12, you're covered. And more importantly, you don't just memorize formulas. You learn when and how to apply them. That's the trick most students miss. Now let me warn you about traps the GED likes to set. Trap 1. Diameter versus radius. They might give you the diameter of a circle, but the formula needs the radius. Remember, the radius is half the diameter. Example: if the diameter is 10, the radius is 5. If you forget and use 10 in the formula pi/r squared, your answer will be 4 times too big. Trap 2. Mixing up volume and surface area. This is a favorite. The problem says surface area, but many students rush to calculate volume instead. Volume is space inside. Surface area is the wrapping outside. Trap 3. Extra numbers in diagrams. Sometimes a diagram shows more numbers than you need. For example, a rectangle with both diagonals drawn might list 4 measurements, but maybe you only need the length and width. Tip: always reread the question. Ask yourself, what are they really asking for? Ignore the noise. Trap 4. Wrong units. This one catches people at the very end. Area answers must be in square units, square centimeters, square meter. Volume answers must be in cubic units, cubic centimeter, cubic meter. If you write just centimeters instead of square centimeters, the answer is technically wrong. Don't lose an easy point. So here's my promise. In this series, every time we cover a new shape, I'll show you the traps that appear most often, so you'll recognize them instantly and never fall for them. So here's the big picture. Geometry is about 1 out of every 4 GED math questions. You only need to learn 12 shapes. Every question is predictable. Area, perimeter, volume, right triangles, and composite shapes. In the next videos, we'll go shape by shape with formulas, step-by-step examples, and practice problems. And remember, inside the GEDprep app, you can practice all 12 shapes with interactive quizzes and instant explanations. So don't fear geometry. Master these 12, and you've already mastered a quarter of the GED math test.